Alright, so I know my channel's been super dead for a while since that Last of Us 2 video, and this is going to be a video as an all-purpose explanation, just a video for people to watch, you talk about some things. So yeah, first I do have something coming up, Devil May Cry 5 review coming up soon. I'm calling off probably the Kingdom Hearts retrospective just because I'm finding it hard to find things to talk about. And by the way, I haven't played this game in about 2 months. So why not just be welcomed back by doing Monsters of Legend, because I don't think I've done this on video yet. But before I hop in, I want to just go over a few things. So Devil May Cry 5 review is going to be out soonish. Kingdom Hearts retrospective, calling it off. I'm still going to make content on some things like ranking all the super bosses except the ones from Birth by Sleep, because I tried getting through that game. Lord knows I did. I got 2 hours into it, and mentally I checked out. I was done, and I just moved on to Dream Drop Distance because I hate Birth by Sleep so much. But yeah, so that's being called off. I'm still going to make, like, when I get done with the whole series, I'm going to revisit my world tier list. I'm going to do all the super bosses. I think I'm going to do a boss ranking for Dream Drop Distance, just all the bosses in it, because Albino hasn't done it. And I don't think he will, because he doesn't like the command deck style. So, I think it's fair game, so I'm going to go for it. If he had done it, I wouldn't do this, of course. But yeah. So, and as for what I've been on the channel, I've just been busy. I've got things to do. I know I can, of course, find time to pre-record and such. I just haven't done it. And I want to get better with that, but that is pretty much where I've been and what I've got coming up. So we're just going to do this video while I talk about some things. So the first big thing, today's Friday, so tomorrow there is going to be some VII Remake news, I believe. Now, I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be, but I got a feeling it's going to be the Ever Crisis thing, whatever that ends up being. I hope this team's good enough. I'm using the same materia build for this that I use for Sephiroth, so fingers crossed. But yeah, so I'm really excited for that, right? Like, I'm just super excited to see what that's going to be, and I need to turn this down on my end so that way there's no echo of music and audio. But yeah, I'm just really excited for that. I'm really hoping to see more on it, see what Ever Crisis is going to be, because I do hope it's good. I do really want it to be something good. Now, I am terrified that it's not going to be like whatever new story stuff they add. Is it going to be a DLC for the PS4 remake? Because I don't want to have to buy a PS5 like all of a sudden just to get that. Which, by the way, when I get a PS5, I'm definitely going to buy the PS5 version of this game. Even though I'll have the PS4 game and stuff, I'll probably still buy it just because, like, they say, oh, resolution fix. I'm like, well, that's enough for me. Or they fix, like, the really weird backgrounds they had sometimes. So, I mean, yeah, I probably would still buy it, but, yeah. Just so I don't have to wait for it. Just so I don't have to wait to get a PS5 for it. I would certainly prefer it if they just released it on PS5 and as a DLC for the PS4. I'd really like that. But that's what I'm expecting in Ever Crisis. A few things I'm expecting. First of all, this not to be just a DLC story thing, just to be like an actual DLC size thing, right? Like to be to add like the new story stuff, whatever story Ever Crisis brings. Oh my God, Cloud's dead. I forgot about Tom Berry doing that. Like whatever new story stuff that brings, and maybe some new gameplay elements too, like maybe fixing some things that weren't as good, like air combat. I'd really love it if they could fix that. Okay, I had to make sure I parry Scourge. Oh dear me. Oh, I forgot Cloud was even dead. Oops. Let me go ahead and get that going here. But yeah, like, I hope like it's just gameplay improvements, and maybe even add, with any luck, maybe add Red 13 as a playable character. Cloud's dead again. I know that's a long shot, but I'd really love it if Red 13 got added. Maybe like Ever Crisis, instead of it being like just something with Zack, I'd much prefer like if it was just a calm flashback, right? Like if instead of being this crazy thing to continue the insane remake saga, if it was the calm flashback as a DLC or as the Ever Crisis, right? Like I would really love that, because then, you know, we get to go from Midgar to calm, and that can be like our first experience with how part 2 will be and such, like, you know, just stuff like that. I really think it could work. Like the Ever Crisis DLC is us going from just outside of Midgar all the way to calm, and then we get there, we have the calm flashback, and that's the Ever Crisis DLC. Like that'd be really cool to me. After the calm flashback, it's like them saying, okay, we're going to go to the Chocobo Ranch, and that's where it cuts off, because that's where it goes next in the game, in the original. Like, I would really love that. And I think that's definitely, like, best case scenario for how it can go. Please don't tantrum. He's doing it again, are you serious? But yeah, like, I think that's definitely, like, just the best way it can go. If it is that, because I really don't want it to just be, I don't want the remake to devolve into like Kingdom Hearts-esque stuff, and I know like a lot of people hate that, and I hate the argument too that Chapter 18 is awful because it's all just Kingdom Hearts nonsense. I can guarantee you the people that say that it's Kingdom Hearts nonsense are people that have not played a Kingdom Hearts game, because Kingdom Hearts goes so much crazier than that. It's the fact that you would even compare it just simply shows how little you know about that. But I really don't want it to just devolve into it though. Like I really do just want it to stay more original, to stay more towards the first game, towards the original game, right? I want it to follow the calm stuff all the way through. It's got to be best case scenario. I am legitimately like gonna be a little annoyed if it is Zack Remake Crisis Core stuff. Like, it's not because like I don't like Zack or anything, or because I don't like Crisis Core, which I don't like Crisis Core, for the record. I just do not enjoy Crisis Core. I think it's really dumb in a lot of places. Same with the whole compilation. But oh yeah, I might have to focus here. But like, I don't know. I don't know what I want. Like, on one hand, would it be cool to see some Zack stuff? Maybe. Because Zack is a great character. He's the only thing I do like about Crisis Core, for God's sake. But I do think that there are some things that are just like, I don't want to see it. Like, God, no. Please don't let NG or Gact come back. I don't want that. I'm really gonna be annoyed if they bring back NGO and Gact. Like, I really just flat out don't want it. I would rather them save Zack for, like, save more Zack stuff for when we actually see, like, Cloud's mind snapping, right? Because I think that there's people that are playing the remake that have never played the original. Same with the Resident Evil remakes, right? Like, there's a ton of people playing these to supplement playing the original. And nothing wrong with it. Like, I got a friend playing this game for the first time that has never played the original. And I think if you show who Zack is before that, you're kind of taking something away from them. And that is, for all of us that played the original game, when we see the picture of Zack with Sephiroth and Tifa, right? And we're like, well, that's not right. We saw that picture before. We know that's not. We know he can't be there. If you do this and you show more Zack, you're really robbing people of that, of being able to see, of being able to wonder, who's this guy that looks like Cloud but has different hair, right? Like, I do think that that's a bad option. That's a really bad way to take this, and I really hope they don't do that. Oh, that's not good. You don't say. Oh dear. Oh, he's gonna counter flare me. I forgot about that. It's been a couple months, okay? But that's just my thoughts on if Ever Crisis ends up being something with Zack. I think, and people are of course jumping to it being something with Zack because Crisis, you know, Ever Crisis, Crisis Core, but that can also just be the calm flashback because what happens during Crisis Core, the calm flashback. So I do think that can definitely be what it is, and I'm definitely really hoping it is that. Like, I'm happy with literally any more FF7 Remake stuff we get, literally any of it. I'll be at least a little happy, but I can't say I won't be disappointed if it's that. Just, I don't know, maybe I'm alone in that, which I don't think I am. I think there are plenty of people that are kind of like me that have a very strange love-hate relationship with Crisis Core. Okay, this is honestly pretty tough here. Oh dear God. Now, for things with gameplay, I want them to fix, like, I want them to fix air combat. Like that's the big one, right? I really want them to fix it. And I know, like, that's a big ask, right? Like, that's something that you would expect them to only fix in the sequel. But either, if you're gonna do this, they should do one of two things: either fix air combat, or make sure not to put any airborne enemies in the DLC or the Ever Crisis expansion. Just for the love of God, don't put them in there, because they're a nightmare to deal with. Unless, like, we get to play a Sephiroth in the Calm flashback, you know. But I know Square Enix has trademarked the first soldier too, and what I think that's going to end up coming out to is, I think Ever Crisis is the name of this mysterious expansion everyone's talking about, and I think the first soldier is part 2, because part 2 is like where we're going to begin to learn a whole lot about Sephiroth, right? Like, we're going to learn a lot about Sephiroth in part 2. Assuming, like, I say part 2 probably goes up to, it's hard to say, really. Oh, those are broken horns. I'd probably just wager a guess. Part 2 probably goes up to maybe when they go back to the Shinra Mansion, right? Like, I think part 2 is going to be flip-dickin' huge compared to this game. And I really do feel like it could go all the way up to the Shinra Manor, because where else are you going to end it, for God's sake? Like, there's nowhere better to end it than at the Shinra Mansion. What are you going to do? You going to cut it off at Corel Prison? No. I mean, they could cut it off at Cosmo Canyon, but I don't know if they would do that. So, maybe, I don't know, but I do think that the first soldier is definitely part 2, because that's where we're going to learn a lot about him, right? Because that's why we had the snake, the big-ass Midgard Zolam. It's a pain in the ass, we can't get by it, and then Sephiroth just kills it, right? Like, that's going to be a big, like, power moment for Sephiroth, where we really see, oh wow, he's not all talk, right? And I think that's where that's going to be. In, like, then we have the stuff that goes on at the Junon Harbor, where he pops to the floor and summons the Genova. Which Genova is that? I don't know. I never remember any of the Genovas. The only one I ever remember is Synthesis, because that one's the one at the bottom of the northern crater. But like, Square Enix didn't mess up with the first part of the remake, so I have faith they won't mess up in the expansion or in the future parts. Although I am worried, right? Like, it is something that definitely does worry me. But I don't know. What are those acrobatics this man's busting out? Okay, so I want to actually use fire on that. And I want to use that. And I want to use that. Do that. Thank you. Okay, let's just hit him a bit more. And do that. Do some damage here. man's still alive. Are you serious? Wow, he is not getting a lot of health back from it, though. Probably because I broke his horns, but still. I keep forgetting what I'm saying, but that's my thoughts on the whole Ever Crisis and First Soldier, because I hadn't talked about that. That's what my thoughts on what I think they both are, and whether or not I'm excited, because I am excited. You know, like I said, anything to do with the remake, you know, I'm pumped for it, right? I'm all for it all. But to say I'm not skeptical would be a lie. Let's break that. Thank you. Oh, he's dead. Yeah, I'm not expecting like a massive expansion. I'm expecting like a few hour story thing, right? Like kind of about the size of what like episode Ardent was, a good 4 hours of new stuff, which I'm totally fine with, right? Like, would they give us like 4 hours of like, I should probably kill the bomb first. Like, you know, leaving Midgar, you choose your party. It's either you choose between the 5, and that's why I kind of hope Red 13's playable. But that did a lot of damage. I probably should have just stood it out. And then you have your trip to Calm, and then you get there, and you have your Calm flashback, which I'm expecting the Calm flashback to be, like, ridiculously long, right? Like, I'm expecting this to be 2 hours. I'm expecting the Calm flashback to take forever to get through. I forgot he could do that. And then there, I said the whole Calm flashback. We come back to the normal time, and it's just Cloud and the gang talking about it. Tifa seeming skeptical at Cloud's story because, of course, she knows he's lying. And I hate that. Stop. And then they just say, okay, we gotta go to the Chocobo Ranch or whatever. And then that's how that ends. I don't know if that's how things progress in the original. I haven't played it in a few years. All I know is that they go to the Chocobo Ranch next. I don't know how they arrive at that conclusion. I'll definitely replay the original before Ever Crisis. Not Ever Crisis, First Soldier. Oh, he's gonna blow. Yikes. I forgot he did that too, funny enough. He's gonna blow. Yeah, there's a quote. Put that up there. Oh, nice dodge. So what else can I say? Well, let's see. I talked about Ever Crisis. I talked about the First Soldier. I've been watching the show Lucifer. Over the course of a little over a week, I watched the full thing, caught up to the present, where God shows up. Thing blue-balled me, like legitimately, just straight up blue-balled me. God shows up, and then it's, oh, see you next time, and part 2 of season 5 still ain't out. Ain't that bad a bitch. But next time he chef's knife, I'll probably go ahead and limit. But yeah, Lucifer's great. I love that show. As for something else, I've been playing a lot of Kingdom Hearts lately. I've already played through Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 all the way. I definitely still love them games a lot, but there are things that I don't like about them. Still, and as for which I love more between 2 and 3, we'll see when I replay 3. Right now I'm doing Dream Drop Distance because I'm skipping Birth by Sleep. I can't do it. After DDD, it's 0.2, and then it's 3. Oh, this guy. This is gonna be so easy. See, this is a very ironic encounter for me, because I remember in Final Fantasy VIII, the Marlboro was like, oh, I don't want to go to the island closest to hell. Oh, I'm terrified of that Marlboro that's around there. And then in this game, in FF7 Remake, I'm just like, oh, a Marlboro, huh? Well, then that's something. It's a shame he's really pitiful. I wonder if we're going to encounter like a Marlboro. out there in the Ever Crisis thing, if that's what it is. Now, if it is something with Zack, what I think it could be, if it is that, let's see here. What do I think it could be if it is that? It's hard to say, because obviously the remake is not going to keep Crisis Core, right? Things are definitely going to be different from how they were in Crisis Core. No way at all they stay same. So it's pretty hard to predict, but what it could be is probably just what happens after Zack survives, right? Like, what happens after what we saw at the end of this game. That could simply be what it is. Now, again, I really, really hope it's not. I gotta get out of the way. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna eat this one. Okay. I made it, thank God. I don't want to see Zack again until, like, maybe when Aerith dies, like, you see a side-by-side of, like, in the timeline where Zack's still alive, like, you see what happens, like, when both of them lose Aerith. Maybe then, but other than that, I don't want to see Zack again until, like, when we're supposed to find out Cloud's the unreliable narrator, right? Like, I don't want to see him till then, because I don't want people to be robbed of wondering, wait, who's this guy that looks like Cloud? Like, I don't want that. That was, like, one of the best things that, like, really hits you in the original was, oh, wait a minute, what? Like, and if you take that away from people playing the remake, I feel like that's just kind of not good. Again, maybe I'm alone in that thinking, but I really don't hope it's that. I know, like, all the crazy Zack fans would, like, they would hang me for saying that. They would see me lynched for even questioning, what? How could you not want to see Zack? You should only want to see Zack. And listen, I get you, Zack's a pretty good character, but he ain't Jesus. And in terms of how a plot should progress, maybe Zack shouldn't show up. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Uh-oh. This is devolving very quickly. Maybe I should have been a bit more careful with this. I got so hands-off fighting the Marlboro, I just kind of forgot I was supposed to be playing the game. Does this reach? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm actually gonna get a little quieter here. Won't kill. That will, though. Goodbye, Marlboro. Yep. But yeah, I think that was the last one of that. That was pretty much everything, though. Like, all I wanted to go over the first soldier and such. First soldier, Ever Crisis and stuff. We're supposed to be getting some new FF16 news, according to a semi-reliable person, sometime this month. I wish I was, like, on reset era, because maybe I'd love to ask Navtra if he knows anything about when we'll see more FF16, because he has predicted literally everything to do with Final Fantasy in the past several months. And I'd love to know what's coming next, and I'm sure Navtra does know. But I mean, I guess if you're an insider like that, you kinda can't, spill the beans like that all the time. But yeah, like, I definitely do want to see more FF16 soon. I want to see more Athia, because I have a feeling, I wonder if the microphone caught my neck popping. I have a feeling Athia will be like a FF spinoff, not a numbered Final Fantasy, but like a spinoff title. Kind of like how Type 0 is, except except hopefully it doesn't suck ass like Type 0 does. But yeah, that is everything. I want to do a video sometime talking about my overall thoughts on Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, because I platinumed that and loved it. But yeah, I want to get back to doing regular content on the channel. I really do. It's just kind of hard to do sometimes, like, to motivate yourself to do it. But I really want to. YouTube's a fun hobby, and the Devil May Cry review, I actually did record that last night. I just haven't finished editing and uploading yet, which I'm actually going to finish in a minute, And then that'll go up on Monday. I'm going to try and get that up on Monday. Just, because I want to get back to my regular schedule, my Monday, Wednesday, Friday stuff. And then, however, tomorrow, if a trailer drops, I am probably going to have a reaction video to the Ever Crisis thing. I'll probably definitely have a reaction to it. So yeah, look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it if you got this far. I have been Elzim, and again, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you like and subscribe. And yeah, y'all take it easy.